He had a good job, a college degree, a steady paycheck, and yet, every night, he checked his bank account with anxiety. By the end of each month, he was surviving on overdrafts and hope. Credit cards were maxed out, rent was late, and that crushing feeling of being stuck was eating him alive. His name was Daniel, and 5 years ago, he was like millions of hardworking people, exhausted, underpaid, and quietly drowning in financial stress. Until one phone call changed everything. Not a promotion, not a lottery win, but a conversation and a simple system that helped him go from broke and burned out to financially bulletproof. This is Daniel's story, and if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right but still going nowhere, this might just be your wake-up call. If stories like this inspire you, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs it. Every week, we break down powerful, real-life financial principles that can help you escape the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle and rewrite your money story. Let's get into it. Daniel was 28 when it hit him. He was sitting in his car after work, too embarrassed to go home because his landlord had left another rent reminder on his door. He wasn't reckless with money. He didn't party, didn't shop excessively, but somehow, the money always vanished before the month was over. The worst part, he couldn't figure out why. He made enough. He was responsible, but it felt like something was silently working against him. So that night, Daniel called his uncle, a quiet, self-made businessman who never looked rich, but somehow retired at 49. Daniel expected budgeting tips. Instead, his uncle said, "You're not failing because you're lazy. You're failing because your money has no job." Then his uncle shared the framework that changed Daniel's life. The 15-65-20 rule, a simple 3-part formula that divides your money into 3 buckets. 15% for your future, investments, emergency savings, financial armor. 65% for essentials, rent, food, bills, transport. 20% for joy, guilt-free fun, fulfillment, living well today. Daniel thought it sounded too simple to work, but his uncle challenged him. Try it for 90 days. Let your money work like soldiers, each one with a purpose. No drifting, no guessing, just direction. Daniel started small. His first goal, put away 15% of every paycheck before spending anything else. It wasn't easy. There were months he had to skip takeout, cancel streaming services, and walk instead of Uber. But slowly, that account grew. He called it his peace fund, because that's exactly what it gave him. After 6 months, he had enough to cover 1 month of essential expenses. After 12 months, 3 months worth, it wasn't just money, it was security. He didn't have to panic when his car broke down. He didn't lose sleep when his company announced layoffs, because that 15% built a buffer between him and disaster. It was the first time Daniel felt like he was in control, not just surviving. But the real battle, that was the 65%. The essentials, because like most people, Daniel thought everything was essential. Rent in a trendy apartment, daily lattes, that necessary phone upgrade every year. His uncle told him, your lifestyle will always rise to match your income, unless you anchor it. So Daniel downsized. He found a roommate, canceled unused subscriptions, swapped convenience for creativity, and something incredible happened. His expenses dropped, but his quality of life didn't. He still had fun, still saw friends, but he finally had breathing room. By staying under 65%, Daniel stopped living on the edge. He created space to save, to invest, to dream. Now here's the twist. Daniel's uncle told him not to save every penny. He said, use 20% of your income to actually enjoy your life. You need reasons to keep going. So Daniel budgeted for guilt-free living. A nice dinner once a week, a trip with friends every few months, a new guitar he'd always wanted. That 20%, it wasn't wasted. It was what kept him motivated. Because saving without living isn't sustainable, and living without saving is a recipe for regret. Daniel learned to balance both. Today, Daniel is 33. He's not rich yet, but he has no credit card debt, a fully funded emergency account, investments growing quietly in index funds, and the freedom to quit his job if he ever needs to. His life didn't change overnight. It changed because he committed to a system and he stuck with it. The 15-65-20 rule wasn't a magic pill. It was a discipline, and over time, that discipline became power. You might be watching this thinking, this sounds great, but I don't earn enough to do that. Neither did Daniel. He didn't wait until he earned six figures. He started where he was and gave every dollar a job. So let me ask you, can you set aside just 5% this month? Can you cut one expense that isn't serving you? Can you create one small buffer between you and panic? You don't need to overhaul your life tonight. You just need to take one intentional step. Because if someone like Daniel, buried in bills, uncertain and overwhelmed, can claw his way out using a simple rule, so can you. We often think wealth is about making more, but it starts with managing what you already have, with clarity and purpose. If Daniel's story inspired you, imagine what your own could look like 1 year, 2 years, 5 years from today, if you just gave your money a mission. So take that first step. Use the 15-65-20 rule. Make your money work for you, not the other way around. And if this helped you in any way, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. Your next chapter could start right here. See you in the next video.